Alright, we're going to be taking a look at a cocktail tree. I'm going to be showing you an example of one of my Jaboticaba cocktail trees. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but what is a cocktail tree, first of all? Well, a cocktail tree is a tree that can have, how can I explain this? It's a tree that is able to produce more than one fruit. So it's like one tree that could produce 4 or 5 different varieties of fruit just on the same tree. And how this works is some plants are related, and if they're in the same family, they can often be grafted onto each other. So I'll explain to you what a graft is here in a second. But I'm showing you this Jaboticaba and how some of the leaves on this plant are different shapes. So this is the white Jaboticaba that's cut onto this, or grafted onto this Sabra Jaboticaba. So the Sabra is the rootstock, or what everything's growing on. And that's the first leaf you're seeing down there at the bottom. This is the white I'm holding. It's a beautiful leaf. It's a nice day out. Puppies are enjoying the weather. They got a big fat leaf, and then the Sabra, this is the classic Jaboticaba down here. That's what you'll see in a lot of nurseries when they say Jaboticaba. But this is the white. It's a different variety. It's supposed to be very sweet, and it's supposed to take a long time to fruit. So a cocktail tree can have multiple branches that are different, fruiting all kinds of different stuff. For example, citrus is there's the graft. So you see right there is where the plant is connected from the Sabra rootstock onto, I believe this is the Ariana. You can see some of the new growth coming out. But a cocktail tree, you could have like a citrus tree, and you could have oranges, lemons, limes, and a pomelo all on the same tree. It's possible. It might not do the best. Some of the branches might grow faster, but that's the idea of the cocktail tree. So this is something that'd be cool if you live in a really small space, or if you're collecting plants and you're going to be moving soon and you want to have them all able to move with you. The idea is to kind of save space. But that's the white there. You can see how big the leaf is. It looks like a totally different plant. There's all 3 at once. See the new growth on the Ariana, Jaboticaba, plinia cauliflora. And I love how it just shoots out of the bark. Like watching the new growth come in, if you can see that. It's really something to see, to watch these plants grow. I had another one, a red hybrid, and it lost all its leaves when I was transporting it. It got cold, and I thought it died. But then after a few months, it started coming back, and it was so cool to watch just this tree come from branches to like a full leafed out tree. This is the Sabra, beautiful green leaf. This is the most common Jaboticaba. This is what is commonly found in Brazil. You can see here the bark of the Jaboticabas, it peels. So this is in the my tertiary family, myrtle family. I'm not sure how you say it, but it's a peeling bark. And this is trunks of flora, actually. That's what this one was. So that's trunks of flora. And this is Ariana here, or the white. And then we got the Sabra down there. And the cool thing about this tree, the Jaboticaba, is the fruit actually produces right on the trunk. Let's look at the beautiful white leaves. It produces right on the trunk. It's a great day outside. I'm going to show you the bark on the red. It's a different tree. This is the red. Hopefully I'll have fruit on this one soon. This one had a deficiency going on after I transpotted it. And I gave it some polytone, and it seems to be doing alright. It's pushing out new growth. The new growth is a lot like mangoes. The leaves are almost like leather when they come out. Here's a Sabra I have. So the reason you want a cocktail tree is you could have 3 or 4 of the plants of different varieties all in one pot. So if you wanted to save space, or you only had so much area in your garden, it's something you could consider. Do I like cocktail trees? That's a whole different topic, whole different video. But this is the one cocktail tree I own. It's because I was collecting these Jaboticabas. I saw a good deal. I wanted to kind of snag it. So I got the Sabra there. And you can kind of see how the bark looks, and the leaves just start changing once you get to a different branch. And the bark looks very similar on all these, but the branch is different. So here's the white. You can see where the graft was. There's that leaf. Totally different leaf. Huge leaf. Looks like a different tree. So that's the power of a cocktail tree. So you could have one pot or one plant in the ground with as many varieties as you want. I think I've seen someone do 9 different varieties on one tree. Here's the Graft Union. So the graft is where you cut into the plant and you kind of make an indent. There's a bunch of different types of grafts. A cleft graft, a V graft, and what you do is you tape it up after, and sometimes the plant will take and you'll end up with a tree rooted into another tree. And grafting is how you get a lot of these name brand varieties of trees. A lot of the stuff you see in the stores is grafted. Comes from a grafted tree. Like if you're eating a sumo citrus orange, comes from a grafted tree usually. You can see the sabra leaves, and they're beautiful. These jaboticabas, when they have new growth come out, it's like these leathery leaves, and sometimes they come out even red, depending on the variety, but they're just beautiful to watch grow. These were really commonly grown as a bonsai, and they're just amazing trees. Some of the leaves will actually have a smell when you crush them up. This is the sabra, it doesn't really smell like much. But there's a little black widow there. Be careful when you're hanging out with your plants. White leaves. The new growth is awesome. See if I get a better look at that black widow. Look at that. But I'm gonna leave him. He's eating pests, and I think it'll be alright. I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. And the leaf tip burn is pretty common on jaboticabas. I have a well here, and I'm even getting it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's too much water. I water these like crazy. These plants chug water. And I keep them in the pot. I give them holly-tone regularly. And whenever I up-pot them, it's just like a equal ratio of peat moss and perlite. And that seems to work pretty well with these. Now these jabos are acid-loving plants, so you need to keep your pH pretty low. But you can just see how cool it is to have a cocktail tree, because you can have so much variety in a small area. Like these jaboticabas are trees that could be grown in an apartment. You could have some grow lights and be grown one year-round in your apartment. And if you wanted to have 3 different ones to try the varieties, because some of these take up to 20 years to fruit, you could have a bunch of different varieties grown on your one tree. So that's pretty much the whole premise of the cocktail tree and why you'd have it. This is my healthier sabra. This is one of my better looking trees. I have a whole collection of jaboticabas. I actually did a video on that. I'll link that there at the end. Got over 6 varieties on the property so far, and I'm trying to collect more. I think the next one I really want to get is a Grimmel. It's supposed to be one of the best tasting varieties. It's supposed to have a lot of fruit, whereas some of these are you get a huge seed and not much fruit. So that's the sabra. Go back to the cocktail. You can see all the different leaves on this. It's so cool. You can take one plant and kind of create a multitude of plants. And this is something that would be really cool if you were in a small space and you wanted to grow one of these. You can see where they taped it. This thing was taped all the way up, and the tape, it's grafting tape. It kind of just eventually breaks down. It's non-toxic. It doesn't really hurt the plant. You can see the tape there too. It was taped all the way up. And he was saying when he sold this to me that he was surprised this one took, because they put a really big branch on here. But it seems like it took. It's putting out new leaves, new growth. So we got the trunks of flora. That's the cocktail tree. And the idea of just growing multitudes of fruit on one tree, it was mind-boggling when I first heard about it. You could essentially do like peaches, nectarines, and plums all on one tree, if you were so inclined. they have to be in the same family, so you can't do like apples and oranges on one tree, or at least I don't think that's possible, but maybe someone's done it. The new growth of the sabra looks so pretty. Comes out with that light green color and the red. All the jabos, they really grow different once you start growing them. You kind of start seeing how each one has its own little variety, its own little like perks and twists. But this is my healthy sabra. I'm thinking about putting that on the ground. And the red hybrid's really cool because it's one of the fastest fruiting jaboticabas. People say they can get it to fruit in like 3 years, 4 years. So those are the trees. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more of our videos, be sure to check those out. I'm going to go ahead and here's some of our soursops we grew from seed. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get these baby chicks on the camera. There's an imbe we got. But we got some baby chicks over here. I'm going to see if I can catch them on this camera for you. Way down here, I'm not sure if you'll see them. There's Mama. And here's your little baby chicks. So she just hatched these just about a week ago. Thanks for watching.